Hello everyone, and welcome to Max Schroeder Productions, here with another movie review on one of my favorite movies, and that is Jurassic Park 3. Now, this is not really it's one of my favorites in the trilogy, but not top of the first one. Doesn't top the first one. So, Jurassic Park 3 was released on July 18th, 2001, directed by Joe Johnston, and it was the number one movie its opening weekend, making domestically $181,171,875. Foreign, it made $187,608,934, which with a worldwide gross of $368,780,809. This film is an action-adventure film. It stars Sam Neill as Dr. Grant, who plays his character again from the original Jurassic Park, William H. Macy as Paul Kirby, Tia Leoni as Amanda Kirby, Alessandro Nivola as Billy Brennan, and Trevor Morgan as Eric Kirby. Now, the plot and story of this film is it opens with Trevor Morgan, Eric, and a friend of his who go parasailing off of the dinosaur coast of Isla Sorna, and go parasailing off of Dinosaur Island. How smart. Anyways, and as they're parasailing, they notice that later on when they go into a fog bank, the boat starts shaking, and then all of a sudden the crew members are gone, and these two characters are left parasailing into Dinosaur Island. Not really smart going through a fog bank on Dinosaur Island. I mean, let's be honest, that's not a smart idea. And as this happens, we transition to Dr. Grant and Laura Dern, who reprises her role as Ellie Sattler from the original Jurassic Park, but is married, has kids, is really just a minor character. She's just in there for probably a cameo appearance a little bit, and she does help a little bit later in the film, which I will talk to about her role later in the film. And so, as Dr. Grant is on his dig site, William H. Macy's character, Paul Kirby, asks him to join him and his wife for dinner, and then they talk about taking him on an expedition to Isla Sorna, expedition, and when they get closer to the island, Dr. Grant realizes that these couple are trying to find their lost son on this dinosaur island as they fly their jet to the island with mercenaries. But as they land there, they stumble upon a humongous dinosaur, bigger than the T-Rex, called the Spinosaurus, which catches them and destroys their plane and attacks them all throughout the film. And there's also more dinosaurs that we get to see, like new different kinds of velociraptors. We see ankylosauruses, brachiosauruses, different kinds, stegosauruses from the second film, and a whole bunch of other dinosaurs. And it's just a rescue mission, basically, and it has nothing to do really with the original two films. This movie is kind of a standalone, other than for the marketing. It's called Jurassic Park 3. So it's kind of, I mean, people argue that it's canon and not canon. I say it shouldn't be part of the original story, to be honest, but that's just your all's opinion. And we also get to see pteranodons as well, so that's another plus about this film too. You actually get to see pteranodons regarding the last two movies. This film was shot in Hawaii, the same location where they did Jurassic Park, and I think a little bit on the second movie. And most of it was filmed in California at Universal Studios at many of the stages, the back lot, and so forth. Some interesting facts about the film is that, classic song, is that the Pteranodon River scene, the Pteranodon Avery scene, and the river scene are all from the original movie, but they were storyboards, and they never made it past the storyboards. So, or actually the concept art as well too, for that matter. So mainly this whole movie is basically like scrapped ideas from the previous two films that never made it, and basically they just tried to coincide it to this new film. Some other interesting facts. Some like little reminders of like the first movie that help you is there's a T-Rex in it for a short amount of time. The closing scene of the Dr. Grant looking at the helicopter of the pteranodons is actually a homage to the original film where he looks out the engine helicopter and sees pelicans instead. The score is very similar to the original two films, although it was composed by Don Davis, a new composer, because at the time John Williams was unable to do it because him and Spielberg were working on AI, artificial intelligence, so then Williams suggested Don Davis for the third Jurassic Park film. Spielberg originally never thought of doing a third film, but during The Lost World, Joe Johnston asked him, "Are you going to do a third?" And when I do a third, and Spielberg, by his words, said, "If I do a third movie, I'll let you direct it." So Spielberg was basically the executive producer on the film, so he really didn't. He did a little bit, but not too much on the third film. And a lot of things new appear in this film, like the Spinosaurus is a new dinosaur. This Spinosaurus is kind of a mixture of a Suchomimus and a Baryonyx, and at the time was the biggest known dinosaur around 2001 when in Montana they discovered it. There originally was, now here's some interesting historical fact, Spinosaurus was actually founded in Germany, or was it Germany or France, somewhere in Europe, I'm not sure where, that they found the original bones, but at the time World War II was going on and bombings happened. So due to the bombings, the original skeleton of the Spinosaurus was literally destroyed, obliterated, never to be seen until, I believe, in July 2001, or earlier than that, they found Spinosaurus bones, skull, not a full skeleton yet. And originally the Spinosaurus was not going to be the first dinosaur to be the antagonist of the film. They originally thought it was going to be they originally thought of Baryonyx, but due to it being a little bit smaller than a T-Rex, they suggested something bigger until obviously the discovery of the Spinosaurus. The raptors are back, but they are different this time because due to the science improving, the paleontology, raptors had feathers. So if you see these raptors, they're different than the first two. They have little feathers on top of them, kind of like for birds when they are really excited, something gets their attention. The raptors kind of have that feather-like instinct on them. So that was the big science argument with velociraptors before all the other dinosaurs had feathers. The Spinosaurus's voice or roars are a mix of lion, alligators, and a bear cub crying, just different pitches of these animals. The pterodactyls, which are the new dinosaurs, are originally basically some birds called petrels, and albatrosses, just, again, the sound was mixed up with those bird calls to make pteranodons. And also an interesting fact, the pteranodons were actually going to be people in suits, but when they realized that was a horrible, horrible idea, they just decided to do CGI. It'd be kind of funny to see that now that I think about it. And also the T-Rex and Spino fight. I could go on about that fight, but as I could summarize it, I don't like it. I'm a huge fan of the T-Rex, and once they killed him off, I just did not like the movie at all. And I love the T-Rex, and he's like the main character of the film. But when the third movie came around, they wanted to do something where the T-Rex was the main guy. We need to get a new guy and kind of have a fight and show them that okay, the Spinosaurus is the new guy on the block, taking care of the T-Rex, destroyed him and whatnot. So the fight could have been extended longer. There's in the special features of Jurassic Park 3, there's extended shots of the dinosaur T-Rex fight. I think T-Rex does a tail lash at him. They do different neck and body movements, I think, as they're fighting. Spinosaurus, I think, claws the T-Rex. So according to that footage, the Spinosaurus actually makes the first attack on the T-Rex. And the fight was basically a homage to Ray Harryhausen, a famous special effects artist way back when in the 50s that did dinosaur films and did stop-motion dinosaur films. They kind of made a homage to him because the T-Rex was animatronic and the Spinosaur was CGI. And also, too, they didn't want to fix the T-Rex and have him show more in the film because the neck was broken, so the Spinosaur literally kills the T-Rex by the neck. So that's why the T-Rex is not in the film as much as we wanted him to be. Also, originally that was scrapped from the film. That was the idea, was there was going to be the pack of raptors versus an ankylosaur. And that was originally in the storyboard idea. There was I believe, like CGI of it, I think. And that ended up being scrapped, which I thought that would be pretty cool. But if you want to know possibly how that scene would look like, you should play Lego Jurassic World, and there's a segment called Eric Kirby where there is a fight between ankylosaurs and raptors. I've never played it, but I've just seen videos of it. And some interesting facts. The ringing of the phone in the Spinosaur when they're at the fence, the characters are at the fence, is a similar homage to when the crocodile eats the clock in Peter Pan, the beats, the ringing, very similar concept ideas there. I don't know if they did that on purpose or if that was just for kicks and giggles, I don't know. Some homages to the original two films. When they search for the phone in the dino dung, that's actually a homage to Dr. Sattler going into the Triceratops dung and searching in there. Like the breakup families, I guess, is like a very recurring thing throughout the Jurassic Park series. We got breakups of families and divorce and everything. Oh, interesting too. The compound, the embryonics compound where they first discover the velociraptors, is actually the same set from the Lost World, the same like workers' village, but it's redressed as a more of a lab type, an embryonics lab rather than a village. So yeah, that was kind of interesting to know about. The river scene towards the end of the film was actually shot where on the Black Lagoon area, which is the same area that they filmed Creature from the Black Lagoon that was made in 1954, and also probably some other, I can't think of any on top of my head, but there's other like famous films that were shot there, like Jaws the Revenge was shot there too. I believe a few Jaws films were there, and basically a lot of films that required river sets were shot at the Black Lagoon. The Phantom Stage that is now gone at Universal was, I believe, the Pteranodon enclosure, at least part of it. I don't know what specific areas. The part of the Pteranodon enclosure is on stage 25, the Phantom Stage, before they tore it down. And some interesting points before I leave about this film. This film was basically a last-minute, all-or-nothing sort of film. There was really no organized way of making this film, so to say. Like, they did so many storyboards, they did so many story ideas, and everything kept getting scrapped and scrapped and scrapped. They had to shoot within a smaller budget, smaller time limit, and they basically just made this film all on whim, on just being at location and doing this and that and this and that. And the movie does feel like everything was last minute stuff. Like, originally it was going to be two different airplanes going to Isla Sorna, and one crashes full of kids, and then there's one with the parents. There's other ideas of, I think Dr. Grant was going there to do research. There was, if you look it up, those were just some ideas, but there's other story ideas for Jurassic Park 3 that before it became what it is now. Some of the characters are based off of the novels a little bit, I believe. Billy Brennan is based off of, I think, Dot in the second novel when Dotson and Biosyn steals dinosaur eggs from the T-Rex nests. Well, he steals raptor eggs, which is similar to the novel. The Pteranodon aviary scene is from the original Jurassic Park novel. The river scene is also from the original novel. The embryonics lab was from the second novel. And yeah, there's, I mean, basically they do have minor scenes from the novels. You gotta kind of look it up. Like Dr. Sattler being married, Laura Dern's character, she's also married in the original novel. In the original film, she's not. So yeah, there's just some minor things from the novels that they took. The characters are very interesting. I kind of like more Dr. Grant because he's kind of like the guy that's very like cautious about being there, cautious about going there, because I mean it's an island full of dinosaurs that run free, no fences, no control compared to the other island he was on. And after his experience, yeah, we can see how he can, you know, sort of be like, yeah, this is crazy, why are we here? So that's why throughout the movie, he's just nothing but wants to go to the coast, wants to go home, and get off that island. And the other characters are just looking for their son while they're on a dinosaur island, which is like, you got to be in a group together rather than separate, because as he quotes, you'll never get off that island alive, which is crazy. And also about the character development on Trevor Morgan's character, Eric. He kind of has that, again, it's more, like the other films, you know, the child and the younger person, I shouldn't say maybe children or child, I don't know, is in danger. Now, compare his character to like the original characters. The other characters from the original two films were basically, they had adult supervision. They were able to get through the island and the dinosaurs with adults, and they lasted for 2 days at least, is what according to what IMDb says. Compared to where Eric Kirby, Trevor Morgan's character, survives on the island by himself, alone, no adult supervision. Dinosaurs roaming free he survived for 8 weeks. Now, how did he do that? Beats me. It's a movie, so we can all imagine what happened. But there are like a lot of books, like spin-off books that talk about his time being on the island for those weeks. So yeah. So what I can say about this movie is, I think it would be worth a 4 out of 10, because plot and story needed to be, I think, a little bit better. They could have, if they had more, I could understand the time limit, but if they had more time to expand on this Jurassic Park film or expand on the movie, they could have had better ideas and awesome ideas, and probably find something from the novels that, you know, the original 2 movies didn't do. So I would say they should have done more. I think a little bit more dinosaurs would have been cool too. But basically this is just, we're running through a jungle. We're running through everything scene. We're running through everything. There's no dinosaurs whatsoever that are like cute or cuddly like in the first 2 novels. They're all over the place, endangered. So that is my movie review on Jurassic Park 3. Please subscribe to my channel, like my video, tell me what you think about Jurassic Park 3, whether you've seen it, going to see it, or what have you. And also, please, you know, just leave a comment, tell me what you think about the movie, and also about, you know, particular scenes or the characters or what have you. So, this is Max Schroeder Productions. Thank you for watching my movie review.